Hi friends, welcome to Learn English through Stories. Actually, this is meant for my young friends, that is school students. But stories can be heard, watched, and listened by anyone. So all are welcome. Learn English through stories. Once upon a time, chai, what a beginning is that? Very old one, no? You have been getting bored with these kinds of an introduction. So, have you heard of Birbal? In the palace of Akbar, see, king or emperor Akbar. So he was advisor, poet, singer, and also he served as a minister from 1565 to 1562. 55 to 62. 1555 to 1562. He was a minister in the court of or in the palace of Akbar. Yes, you might have heard many stories, Akbar and Birbal. Okay, a wise man, a witty man, and many other things you might have heard. So, it is a story of Birbal, Akbar and Birbal. One day, Akbar was walking in his garden after the supper. What is supper? The meals that you take just before going to bed. What are the other meals, can you say? The meals that you take in the morning, breakfast. Noon, lunch. 4 o'clock you may take tea and snacks or coffee and snacks, but evening meal is known as dinner. Not a small meal, big meal. Okay. So breakfast, lunch, dinner and night, just before going to bed, you take your supper. So Akbar was walking in the garden with his minister Birbal. It was too cold, very cold. Month of December, it was snowing. Oh, so cold, they were shivering and all. And Akbar asked our Birbal, the minister, "Hey Birbal, is it possible that a man can stand in this pond?" There was a big pond in the middle of the garden. The whole night in this cold climate, can a man stand there? I repeat. Akbar asked his minister Birbal whether it was possible for any man to stand in that pond, in that cold climate the whole night. Simply asked, was it possible? Then Birbal said, "Yes, sir. Yes, Maharaja. You see? Yes, Your Honor. It is possible. If he has the will power. Where there is a will, there is a way." You might have heard of this. Where there is a will, there is a way. But someone will come and stand, but you must give him a good gift, a reward. Okay. King, no. He offered, "I will give him 1,000 gold coins if a man can stand in the middle of the pond the whole night in this cold climate. In this cold situation, too cold it was. Month of December, I said no. Yes." So Birbal went home and went to his neighbor who was very poor and asked him, "Can you stand in the middle of the pond in the king's palace, in the king's garden the whole night? Then you will get 1,000 gold coins." He was very poor, farmer, but he was very poor. He said, "Yes, I can. Why not? If it is given, the reward is given, 1,000 gold coins now. During that time, 1,000 means it is 10 lakhs now. So valuable, 1,000 gold coins. Yes," he said, "I will." And he has a willpower. He understood. Birbal understood that the man has the willpower to stand in the middle of the pond. The man was taken to the king's palace. As offered, Birbal told the king that this man would stand in the middle of the pond. Okay, agreed. The man was given a chance. That night full, he was standing in the middle of the pond. Okay. And the king appointed 2 soldiers on both sides of the pond, but nothing happened. He was standing there the entire night. Early morning, he came out from the pond with assistance from the soldiers. They were standing on both sides. He was taken to the king's palace. The king asked him, "What made you stand during the whole night in that cold pond? My dear friend?" The man smiled and said, "There was a light in your palace that I could see far away, little far away, not so far, but king's garden now. Yeah, but I could see a lamp from the palace. I was looking at the lamp, and you see, I was determined to bring that light into my mind, and I forgot the cold climate and the cold water around me. I never thought of that because I was single-minded. I was looking at the lamp from the palace." Aha! You were looking to the lamp from the palace. That means you got warmth, heat from that light now. No reward for you. You were looking at the lamp from the palace. That is why you were able to stand in the cold climate, cold water. No reward for you. The man was shocked. So was Birbal. What the king is telling? He offered 1,000 gold coins and now he says no reward. Birbal was shocked. What is this, Maharaja? No, he received a heat from the light of the palace, so he cannot be given a reward. Birbal was so sad. He went home, but he was determined that the man should receive his reward. See, during the day, he went to the palace. He was a minister, no? And during lunch time, the king was waiting for the lunch to be served, but the lunch did not come. Lunch did not come. As he was so hungry, the king came to the kitchen to see what is going on there. Then, by the orders of the minister Birbal, all the vessels by which lunch was prepared, seemed to be hung above 10 feet high. What happened? Birbal ordered the servants in the kitchen that the vessels in which lunch was prepared, not one, many, you see, to be hung above the fireplace more than 10 feet high. He said, "It's my order. It's my order, you have to do that." Minister ordered, no. They obeyed. When king came to the kitchen, he saw all the things, so high, 10 feet above the fireplace. Fire was burning, but the vessel was 10 feet above the fireplace. How can it be prepared? How can it be boiled? It's not possible now. Common sense you can understand. It is not possible to get it prepared. The king found that many vessels are hanging there. What is this? The minister ordered. We have to obey the orders of the minister. What Birbal this is? Then Birbal said, "Maharaja, if the light from the palace can heat the man and the pond in the garden, this lunch also can be heated and prepared, though it is 10 feet above the fireplace." King was shocked. Then he thought, though he may have seen the light, how can he get heat from the light from the palace? Right, Birbal, you are right. I am sorry that I made a mistake. He called the farmer immediately. Soldiers were sent. He was brought back and he was, rewarded or awarded the offered price 1,000 gold coins. It's the willpower of that farmer that made him stand. Single-minded he was. and he had the willpower, and he proved that where there is a will, there is a way. That is the story of Akbar and Birbal. Thank you for watching. Meet you with another story like this. Thank you, and thank you very much.